Okay. So
Should I leave the slide online in the air?
yeah. We're just gonna wait a little bit for the people to join.
Okay.
I guess you can
And
already put it in full mode,
Yes.
full screen mode.
yeah. We're gonna wait like 5 minutes because it's a little bit tricky.
Absolutely no problem.
Okay. And I think LinkedIn sent us a reminder as well. So whomever is subscribed, I suppose they saw a notification from LinkedIn as well.
Mhm.
I posted up online like Wednesday. Joao, you posted that as well on Wednesday. So let's see. Yeah, first people coming. So
Well, let me see as well if I need to accept. No, I think all good here. People.
mm-mm-mm. So let me see if I can send a reminder.
No rush. Let's wait a bit.
Yep. I'm gonna send a reminder maybe on LinkedIn via the community. Mm. Okay. I'm gonna check like if the link is working all right.
Mirela, no
Yeah.
worries with the time. We are fine.
Gianluca or Agnieszka, can you write us if the link worked fine from Microsoft Teams? Like I think the chat should be, or the question and answer is like open to you, so you can actually write to us. Okay. So yes, okay. So it works fine. Okay,
I
good.
received from another person that they received the message, our services aren't available. So there might be an issue.
Oh, okay. Wait. Wait, I might join as well with okay. Maybe I joined also with the account that I have created the meeting. Maybe this how to change something. Okay, Abdallah also attended. What type of problems we might have?
Fabian,
Sorry?
Yeah. What are the technical problems that they're saying that they're having?
They just received the message, our services aren't available.
From LinkedIn or from Teams?
Let me ask this.
Yeah, because it's quite weird. Normally, sorry for the people that have joined. We're checking if we have some technical issues, and if not, so we're gonna start the webinar. Sorry about the wait, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky because we have the webinar on LinkedIn, but it's connected to the Microsoft Teams, and sometimes, yeah, the interface might not be perfect or optimal. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah.
I got the response, it's a problem of Teams from the person I'm writing with.
But is it from the event, or is it from the person itself, or is it a general one from the meeting? Because I'm going into the
Abdullah is asking what's the problem we are facing, but yeah, we are trying to find out if there is a Teams problem or the interface between LinkedIn and Teams.
yeah, because I don't know if they might be waiting outside of the meeting room and we do not see that.
Yes.
That's
I'm
why I want to change the settings if it's an issue. Um, hmm. So options.
Because the meeting is hosted by AAC community or LinkedIn profile, so it was not generated from, at least from our side, Nexplore or of TIFF. It's not a policy that we can control.
No, it's actually it's on Microsoft Teams, basically on the AAC Microsoft Teams.
Mhm.
But I haven't done anything that has not like to restrict. I created on our AAC page for meeting options. Wait, Teams. Haven't done anything to restrict access. It's normally open to anyone.
Unfortunately, I cannot test additionally because I only have this account. So
Mm.
Event.
Okay, you know what? I think we can start, and then if more people want to join, I don't see any issue with the event anywhere. Um, yeah, I don't see it. But what do you think? Should we start? Because it's
Maybe
already
we
11
can.
past 6,
Yes,
and
we can.
okay. And then if more people want to join, um, yeah, they can do it while you has already started. Anyhow, I would like to thank you all for joining the meeting today. My name is Mirela. I am the chairwoman for the AACE DACH section. Welcome to today's webinar. It's our one of our tech series webinars. So basically the purpose is to demonstrate a software which is related to project controls. So today we have the honor of hosting Nexplore to present Nexplore Minerva, which is a software for subcontract management solution. So with us, we have Joao Guerra and Fabian Samolak. Joao is a senior business development manager with Hochtief, and Fabian is an implementation specialist with Nexplore. And they're going to take now the opportunity the rest of the time to demonstrate the software, and then they're going to be available to ask to respond to your questions, which you are free to pose either in the chat or in the Q&A. So Joao and Fabian, the floor is all yours for the
Thank,
presentation.
thank you very much. I mean, I know maybe due to technical problems, we are not many as now, but sometimes less is more. So let's keep focus on what we have in terms of content. Mirela, one word for you and of course to the AAC community. Thank you for hosting this webinar and for organization. Thank you for having us here as well and for the opportunity to showcase the Nexplore Minerva subcontract and management tool at this tech stage, as you just referred. Actually, it's a privilege to address this topic in front of such a prestigious audience because I've read a bit about what you guys do and the type of people involved in the different industries, especially on the field of project management, cost controlling, but also other topics like supply chain management, progress monitoring, etc. So this gives me and Fabian an extra sense of purpose, and we believe that the key competencies of our digital tool will trigger you. As Mirela just mentioned, so myself, I'm with FT for about 10 years, civil engineer by degree, promoting several business development activities, promoting our Nexplore tools as well, but showing it to the larger community and the external market. Fabian is solution implementation specialist with some business analysis and IT background. And again, I was telling this offline with Mirela. We are not SMEs, but we hope to address the questions you might have in the end. Starting with the presentation, and again, feel free. I think it's not possible to interrupt, but we can go to Q&As in the end. I will try to go quickly with an overview. So Minerva, let me just do something here. Quick introduction about Nexplore. Then this is the agenda, of course. Quick intro about the tool. Then Fabian will do a live demo of the software specifically and show as well the Power BI dashboard that allow us to visualize the data in a specific format and with the specific filters. Nexplore, really, in a nutshell, is part of a TIF organization. Basically, we follow the same, let's say, footprint we have worldwide in APAC, US, and Europe. That's where also we have our innovation centers. And we come from the industry of construction. TIF is a construction company, large-scale projects, and we were able to identify internally our bottlenecks and pain points So after quite a number of years of analysis, we come up to use cases and solutions to optimize those processes and to hopefully mitigate those problems. So most of these solutions that we came up with are digital tools, and Minerva, it's one of them. So this is basically the range of products we or the fields we cover with our products. I'm not going to details in now because we are again talking about Minerva. Minerva is a tool that covers also the supply chain and ESG topics. We go there in a minute. And we identified this, what you can see on the screen, these kind of challenges from the industry. Most of the projects, as we unfortunately know, are above schedule. Most of the products go beyond the costs that originally planned. About 10-11% of cost overruns are also related to quality aspects, and there is a visible low degree of automation in the construction industry. So more and more requirements on projects are related to quality. They require a higher degree of automation. The margins, as we know, on the construction industry are really low in comparison with, let's say, average benchmark on other industries, which are easily, in many cases, above double digit. And as we know as well, in most of the construction projects, 80% of the works are done with subcontractors. And that's exactly why Minerva was conceived to address these aspects. Challenges that we identified internally about complexity due to more and more specialists and more specialized teams. There is much more amount of variations on projects due to unexpected circumstances from the projects themselves, but also from the clients. The costs are rising. Unfortunately, prices aren't constant. The margins are low. Unfortunately, there is a gap on the offer on the market for skilled labor. The data is more and more in terms of quantity and more complex, and it's difficult to have an overview on that specific kind of data. And there are more requirements on the ESG level as well. With this in mind, we came up with the tool Minerva that hopefully covers most of these challenges. This brings transparency because, as we will see, we can use it both from the contracting partner, from general contractor, also the subcontractor. So both are users of the tool. We can see in a nutshell all the variations. We can manage and see costs. It's a digital administrative tool that helps us to go through from the bill of quantities. So it is a contract to pay solution where we have all the data in real time in each item and each subcontractor or in each position. And again, we can also link this to a BI reporting in regards to ESG aspects. This is unfortunately probably the typical way of doing business. So Excel files. This is what we usually see in most of our companies. Then we need to force the Excels, and especially on complex projects, to address to control these variations that bring us to a hard task of controlling the planned versus the forecast. Most of this is done manually. This is obviously prone to errors because sometimes we even find out that there are duplication of payments, and this is obviously not desired. Sometimes you have different versions of Excel files, people not sharing the same version, etc. Lack of security, it's an important aspect. This tool or this software is, we have the ISO 27001, so for information and data protection, so all the data is secure. This is an important achievement we have with the tool. Just some key benefits. We are not here to bring, again, bold numbers and big savings, but any single saving, especially when we are talking about construction industry where the margins are really low on the range of 2-3% netto, any savings that we can bring from the different working packages or the different parts of the value chain on one project are representative. We reached out this by internal assessment of projects where we have rolled out the tool, and we found out about 2-3% savings can be impacted on the subcontract management process itself, administrative efforts, and we also can, due to the speed and transparency of the information, as a general contractor, when it's the general contractor perspective, claim faster and more efficiently and without major doubts to our final clients, so that we can also claim the payments differently with a faster way. This all in all translates to about 5% plus profitability into the business, which is, I think, a good milestone. Just one final slide before I hand over to Fabian to do the demo. Basically, Minerva, as I was referring, this is a tool that can be used both by the contractor and the subcontractor to certify the payments that are required in a construction process. But frankly speaking, I think the best way to understand this model is to go through the live demo of the software. So Fabian, if you don't mind, and jumping in on the stage, feel free to do it. Mirela, if you are interested also on a kind of a soft stop for any questions as well, happy to go through them as well, or if not, we'll leave it to the end. Up to you. If not, Fabian, you can.
Okay, perfect. Then let me just share my screen. Here we go. This is basically how the login page of Minerva looks like. We have the possibility either to create users with logging in with credentials or to use single sign-on. Let me just jump to another window. Let's use this. So I will just log in as my administrative user. Oops, yeah, too long open for this session. So after logging in, I will directly jump into a dashboard, which will show me outstanding certifications and approvals from my side. Just to have kind of a quick overview so I can directly jump into it. But let's start at the beginning. Because I'm an administrative user, I'm basically able to see everything. And therefore, I'm also able to see all the projects. As Joao already mentioned, we are dealing with big companies like Hochtief, which therefore kind of requires Minerva also be designed in a way that it's able to handle multiple subsidiaries working independently from each other. But because I'm an administrator, I'm able to see all of these companies, like all of these projects. Like here, this one, Next 01 is one company, Next 02 is another one, located even in different areas. Like the one 02 is for the US, 01 is for Europe. So I will just take one of the projects. Within the projects, you will have an overview also of pending payments for the whole project, which are in different subcontracts. You will get like the most required information on the site, like the address, to which company it belongs, project name, these kind of things. Within the project, you have the possibility to assign members so they can work there. You can define approval flows. These approval flows are for changing the subcontract, creating subcontracts, and for payments. Additionally, for these approval flows, I'm able to create conditions. So I might set up a whole delegation of authority, maybe up to the level of a CEO, and so that the CEO does not need to approve like changes like $10 or something like that. You can set up a condition that only if a certain value or if the subcontract value reaches a certain amount, this person needs to approve. So let's get more in the direction of the core feature, which is the subcontracts list. So I see here all the subcontracts which are created for this project. I will see in which state they are. So most of them are in execution, and which subcontractor is assigned to that. So let me just take this subcontract. This overview looks pretty similar to the one I have for the project. I will get the most required information here. Like I have maybe a different construction address, so I will find it here. I will find the payment terms here. I will find internal documentation, but I also have the possibility here within the document section to add documents which are shared between contractor and subcontractor. I have the possibility to upload something here. Let me just take a bank guarantee. I will open it up. I will select its type, bank guarantee. I can just search for it by typing in, and I can set an expiry date. Maybe it will even expire end of the month. And after doing so, this will get a status yellow, telling me, hey, it's close to expire. If it's more than a month, it might be green. If it's already expired, it might be red. And I can also create things which do not expire, then it's blue. But let's go to the most important part, which is the bill of quantity. So the bill of quantity is the core part of Minerva within the subcontract. Every progress monitoring, so every progress, every payment claim, every change will be done based on the bill of quantity. So there's no way to kind of have something besides of it. Everything is documented in your contract and reflected here. Because I just set up a new subcontract, I decided to share all the positions with the subcontractor, which is visible with this little eye icon. But it's also possible to create positions which I do not want to share. So these positions might be for internal forecasting. Maybe I already expect that my subcontract will get bigger, so I will get a higher budget approved. So I can already do it by setting it up in the beginning and do not share it with the subcontractor and decide on later to share it. Besides of that, I have the possibility to restructure my BOQ by creating a WBS and assign cost accounts to it, which is especially relevant because Minerva is able to integrate with ERP systems, and there it's required to do the WBS allocation so that the ERP system knows to which cost accounts the changes you will do in the system belong. Additionally to that, forecasted completion is basically changing your subcontract. So as we all know, subcontracts might change. So if it's necessary to create new positions, the contractor has the possibility to create new positions or remeasure existing positions. Additionally to that, the subcontractor, who can also log in into the system, has the possibility to request changes as well. Progress monitoring is an internal tool which gives you the possibility to track your progress you have on the construction side. For example, let's take the first of the month. We will go here, say they already did like 700 cubic meters, and here they did like 300 and maybe 50 here. And I will submit it. This will automatically calculate my accrual, and if there is an ERP integration, this will also automatically sent to my ERP system. And basically, this is the most interesting part in Minerva. It's about the payments. As Joao already mentioned, this is a tool the subcontractor can use as well. Let me just switch to another window and let me log in here as my subcontractor user. At gmail.com. Also timed out. Let me just do it in another way. Here we go. Just copy pasting the email address might make it easier. So as already mentioned, logged in as a subcontractor, I see way less than as the administrator of the contractor. I just see projects where I have active subcontracts within. So even if there is an additional subcontract, which is not kind of signed, it won't be shown here. I can just see what I'm executing. So let's go to the project I went before, also go to the subcontracts. You will also see here, I just see my subcontracts and do not see any other subcontracts. And now let's go in this one. And also here, I have less functionalities than the contractor user. I do not see the WBS and I do not see the progress monitoring as well. So let me just go here. I will create a payment claim. I will create a payment claim for this subcontract. Let's say it's the payment claim for September. I will select the work executed date for end of the month. I have the possibility as a subcontractor to save this as a draft for review. So every time I might be unsure or to fasten the process, we already learned that the subcontractor sometimes on the construction site shares their draft, what they want to claim with the contractor beforehand as well. So this might be possible. I will just put in my values. I will go here. I will ask for 700. I will ask for 350, and I will ask for maybe 200. Okay, this is not possible yet, but we do not restrict the subcontractor to change the contract values for themselves. It does not affect what is able to pay, but they can invoice whatever they want. This is basically there to avoid that the subcontractor will use other ways to claim for what they want to do. If I change the values, I have to put a reason why I changed it. So in this case, more material was needed. I will add the reason, and then I'm also able to claim for this value. I always have the possibility here in general, or like for position-wise, to add comments and attachments to give more information about that. If this is fine for me, I will go to the last step, and I will find a summary of what I claimed. I will see the changed contract values I put here, and I also have the possibility to generate a general summary, which will show me the expected payout value I expect as a subcontractor if the contractor agrees on the payout values I'm asking here for. If this is fine, I will just submit it. And afterwards, my job as a subcontractor is done. So let me just jump back to my other window. Here we go. So if I just go here, I will see a pending payment claim. Also, my user will get an email notification telling me that for this project and this subcontract, my approval is needed with the due date. And because I'm right now the person who is in charge to approve, which I will find here, I'm Alex Gold, I'm able to do the certification. This wizard looks pretty similar to the one we saw before. And I will find all the claimed values here in period and also kind of add it up for to date. It's the first invoice, so it's not like so therefore they are the same. And I can do the certification. So I will put like 700 here. This was fine. I will put 300 here because this is what I progressed. We're currently working on that this column of the progress will be shown here as well. And due to the fact that I certified less than the subcontractor asked for, I have to put a reason. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to continue. I can either take one of the entries which are here in the list of reasons which are already given, but I also have the possibility to add others and then add an additional explanation for that. In this case, I say work was not performed. And also here, they already changed the value to a quantity of 200, but for the contractor, always the agreed value is taken into account. So if I agree with this 200, I need to create a contractual change, which needs to get approved as well. And if the change is approved, I'm able to certify this value. If I don't do that and type in 200, it will automatically jump back to 150. And also it wasn't 150, which I measured, it was just 50. So I will just go here, have to add a reason as well. And I will put another reason, fine. Go to the last wizard step, get another summary here as well, and I'm able to approve it. Now I need to approve it a second time. For demo purposes, I just used I set up just the approver to be a substitute for the second approver as well. Should be the case in the reality, but now I can just go here. I will find the values I already entered. If I would have added some comments, I also have the possibility to add some internal contractor-only comments, which won't be shown to the subcontractor after approving it. I would find all this information here. And if this is fine for me, I can either change it if it's not fine for me, and if it's fine for me, I will just go to the last step and approve it here as well. After doing so, this gets in status approved. And if I go back here to the subcontractor, I will see it as approved as well. I will now see here the certified values as well. Here the certified values, and additionally to that, I will receive an email telling me that my payment got approved. I get the definition of what payment it was exactly. I have a direct link to Minerva, so if I just click on it, I will directly end up in this screen. And additionally to that, I will get as a PDF all the information I will also find in the UI. So it's not necessary to check for the values to log in every time. But if I do need some more required information or like attachments, I need to download it via the UI. So I can just click here and download it there. That's basically how the payment process works in Minerva. It's pretty straightforward, and it's generalized. So it's all the same for all the projects, no matter where, no matter what you're dealing with. So this gave us the chance to create a Power BI report for that. So it's pretty easy to analyze all the data we are generating in Minerva and have it here just in time. So if I just click on the refresh button, it might take me just some seconds. And afterwards, I will see the new created invoice and the certified values as well. Here we go. Now the graphics will just get an update and done. Additionally to that, which is kind of also an upcoming requirement, as Joao already mentioned in his slides, we already have here now the possibility to, that's the wrong window. I need the contractor because this is also a contractor only information. We have the possibility to assign ESG category codes. We also created another tool which is working together with Minerva. So you are able to create like a tree table with different category codes with so-called CO2e values, which means CO2 equivalent. And you can assign this to different positions. Like you might have different subcontracts, and subcontractors might slightly differently name their positions. So maybe somebody will call it concrete type A, but another subcontractor might call it type A concrete or something like that. If you know about this, you can do this linking, and then you can do also by using Power BI CO2e analysis as well, because we found out that construction companies are often not aware about the companies and services they used, especially globally, like even not within a country. This is basically handled here in this ESG service. It's pretty easy, just set it up, like set values, put validation dates. You can set different rates with different times. You can define it in different units. Yeah, that's it. Any questions?
Hey, very good. Okay, that's a very, very clean looking software. Thanks so much for the presentation. There are a few questions on the chat. So the first one comes from Emmanuel. He's asking if for a remeasurement versus fixed price position, is there a feature in the software that would allow the management of it? For example, i.e. a position where only the rate is fixed, but not the quantity.
Yeah, sure. You can create BOQ positions which are with a quantity of 0, and then you can set a rate. You can also do it the same. You can also create positions with a rate of 0 or with a quantity of 0. So you are even with a negative rate. You might even agree on a position just on the name and do not even define quantity or rate, but also defining one of them is fine as well. Same with remeasurement doing it. Like you can remove positions by just remeasuring them to 0, and then this is basically removed.
Okay, I think Emanuela
I get a thumbs up, so looks good.
Looks like the question was answered. My question was the platform. So basically, is accessible by the contractor and the subcontractors,
Exactly.
right? Okay. And is it only about? So basically, here we have like a construction. So basically, it's the building, right? It's not. Is it a software extendable to other type of components of a construction project, such for example, piping or it can be, I don't know, instrumentation or electrical works, or is it only for the building?
No, you can
the
kind of
civil?
it's about like for all construction works, you might agree on your construction side and which might be with a periodical payment. So it might make some sense to set up also subcontracts just for one payment if you want to include them into the BI report. But besides of that, you can put in whatever you want, like subcontracts, suppliers, you can put in consultant services, whatever is needed on your construction side.
Mirela,
Yes.
can I add just one information to that? We of TIFF and Nexplore originally come from the construction industry, so we designed most of the softwares based on that. But for the general audience, we don't want just to roll out these kind of solutions to the construction players. So this is horizontal to other industries. So basically, you can let's us use instead of the word subcontractors, trade partners. So whenever you have an activity with a framework agreement where a bill of quantities or items are registered and you need to follow payments according to the contract, everything can be monitored as well through Minerva. Not necessarily to a project or to the construction industry. We are talking to airline companies or hotel chains or logistic operators exactly on the same purpose with this tool.
Okay. Another question is, can you load an initial BOQ through an Excel spreadsheet?
Good question. This is basically how you set up a new, this is the wrong user. This is how you set up a new subcontract. So basically going here, creating a new subcontract, just let me jump there. It's exactly asking, please upload an Excel file, just clicking here. You can either download the template here, and also I have some of them prepared. So I have here, let's just take this one, and here we go. So
Directly.
the initial setup is done via Excel upload.
Okay, and what about the supervision hours, the labor rates and the labor hours?
Actually, for that, we have another tool that registers all that. It's not on Minerva.
Okay.
It's called daily diaries. Yeah. I mean, it's a separate topic. Happy to explain a bit, but it's not the purpose for Minerva. I mean, unless your subcontractor, your trade partner, it's a supplier of man hours, and then you have a contract with the items of the bill of quantities, and then the hours consumed can be measured and tracked on the Minerva for sure in a financial perspective.
Because if you have a claim on the quantity, on the amount of work to be done, then you'll have a variation on the labor hours, of course, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Abdallah is asking, how do you deal with the privacy issues on the software?
What exactly do you mean? So basically,
who can see what, basically?
Maybe data protection, data security around that.
Exactly. It depends on to which company you belong. So if you're just assigned to one company, you will just see the content of this company. You will only see the users which work within your project. Same with the subcontractor. They are only to see persons who are working within their subcontract as well. So the persons they should know on the construction side as well.
Okay. I think I'm going to try to unmute Abdallah. He wants to raise a question. He has raised his hand. So Abdallah, I think you're unmuted, I suppose.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mirela. Actually, when I'm talking about the privacy, I'm wondering where you are storing the data, because this is something also very important, because you are putting your unit prices there, and they are very sensitive information from the contractor's point of view, as well as the subcontractor's point of view. So that is my question, where you are storing the data. This is something which I want to understand more.
Good question.
We host Minerva in the Azure cloud, in the region of where the contractor is located. And it's one instance per contractor. So if you have a contract with us, it's your own instance and nobody else will have access to that.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
No
Okay,
problem.
you're welcome. Going back to the Q&A, Emmanuel is asking if you can show how a contractual variation is handled in the tool. So he wants a little bit of demonstration, I suppose.
Sure, no problem. Let me just jump back to my test subcontract. I will go here and, for example, creating a remeasurement, I will go here. I will see the BOQ with all my existing positions. I will go here, give it a name. And for example, we talked about getting that the subcontractor asked here for getting this to 200. Somebody checked on that and agreed on that. I will put it to 200. I have here again the possibility to add comments and attachments. I need to put in some kind of documentation so that you have at least some required documentation why this change was done, like a reference number, description, all these kind of things. Just for demonstration purposes, just let me put like a minus everywhere so that I can continue, because if I try to continue, it's not possible because all these fields are required. After doing so, I will get a summary of what I changed. I will get my updated forecast value. I can submit it. Also, I will find here the things I put in the second wizard step. I'm able to submit it. And after doing so, it will trigger an approval flow, which I defined earlier in the project before. And then if this gets approved, the change gets approved. For new positions, like an instruction, it's basically the same. I will go here. I have to create an instruction group. Might be my instruction group in this case. I can create as many groups within it as I want, and I can add also items. Instruction item 1. I need to decide for a unit, which might be cubic meters. I need to decide if the position is retainable or not. I will add a quantity. I will add a rate. Again, possibility to add comments and attachments. Also here, require documentation. Just running through it. And I'm able to submit it. And after approving it, like here, it's basically I can either approve it or reject it. And after approving it, it will get set into a state. So I will find it here in my bill of quantity under instruction. And as you see here, the little I icon is missing. After creating an instruction or a contractual change at all, it won't be shown to the subcontractor until you declare it to be shown with the subcontractor as well. So I need to go here. I have the possibility to say, hey, I want to share it. It will show me, okay. I can select a BOQ, an ESG category code as well. Even though if I did some mistake by naming it, I can rename the position here or give it a description. And if this is fine, I get a summary and I can update the BOQ again.
Okay, I think we had a thumbs up, so I think the question was answered. A very interesting question from Gianluca. I actually was thinking about the same, so thanks. So what about the lump sum contract that is paid in % of physical progress? Can Minerva manage it?
Sure, it depends on how you create your positions. You can just create like lump sum positions and then like with one and then claim path against it, fitting your progress monitoring.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, we had another thumbs up, so it means. Okay, in which languages the tool is available?
Currently in US English, Australian English, German, but we're already on it to implement more languages as well. These are the ones which are on the roadmap.
I suppose the question is if it's available in French.
Because not yet. Not yet. We did not get the requirement yet.
Yeah.
By the way,
complicated.
Just a comment. I mean, the translation of the tool itself, it's not, I mean, a showstopper. We can, if there is a scalable client or market that we are entering, of course, we can easily do the translation of the. So, I mean, when I mean easily, it's a technical aspect because these are very specific terminologies and definitions, but it's possible to adjust it to other markets and to other languages.
So, Emmanuel, I think you're unmuted, so you can you can try to talk. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much, because I asked a lot of questions. So in fact, I thought it would be easier. So thank you very much for all your answers. That they are very clear. Thank you very much. And yes, it was to understand whether it was in French, but as I say, it's not very important. It's most to understand what is today available. Understand that it could be improved and more languages added. Thanks for that. Another question I would have is, and maybe it's a sensitive point, but what is I would say the billing model, not to enter into detail of how much it costs, but is it a billing to contractor, to subcontractor, or to both?
Thank you for your question. Allow me not to go into much details on purpose, just because we never know how the also the external policies then are addressed after this kind of recorded sessions. But to answer the question as specific as I can, yes, there is an amount that is charged to the general contractor. It's a hosting fee annually paid, and then every time there is a submission of claims per month, so it's on a monthly basis, there is a cost associated with that. What can happen as well is the general contractor can, in a back-to-back agreement, charge back to the subcontractor a small percentage of that amount in a monthly basis. You can ask me, okay, but then the person or the subcontractor that is claiming that invoice or that payment is still also needs to pay on top of that. Okay, this is a rhetoric question. The answer for that is that the savings that we identified, both from the subcontractor side and also on the general contractor side, the cost associated with that, especially the number of hours per claim in average incurred, are on the range of 1 hour per claim. So this basically directly offsets the costs associated. And then, of course, if you are interested, I will share in the end my slide with my contact details and email address. Happy to go into detail with you without any problem.
Thank you very much.
I have a question on top of that. So basically,
yes,
the software is it charged on the project, or is it like acquired by a company that is interested in using that in all of their projects? What is the more?
Yeah, I mean, it's Mirela, frankly speaking, again, it's a good question. Depending on the approach from the client, and I will tell you why I'm telling you. It's very easy to say depends, but it really depends. If we are talking about a company, whether they are medium-sized or big-sized, doesn't matter. But let's say a medium-sized company, they want to enter into an enterprise deal with us. Then it applies to the company, and then they can set up different projects, as Fabian was showing here as an example. If one single project per se justifies to have a license, because sometimes we have joint venture agreements, and that entity is one project, we can sell the tool on a project level as well.
Because it has to be linked with the SAP systems.
The tool interfaces with not only with SAP, because there are different ERP systems. SAP is just one of them. For example, in Australia we have JDE. There are also Microsoft Dynamics Finance, for example. So all these integrations are possible. And when I mean all these integrations are possible, nothing is by a push of a button, because the integration process also depends on the process from the company when they have a certain methodology to export the way they control the subcontractors to their own ERP system, which is designed in a certain way. But the API, so the interface, is possible to be done with any ERP solution, of course, including SAP. We have also SAP in our company, in US and here in Germany or in Europe mainly, and that's what we do as well.
Emmanuel, I think you raised your hand again, so I think you're still unmuted. So
yeah, but you answered the question. I was about to ask the question with which ERP you had already interfaced, and you answered that question. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. But it's possible with many. Okay, usually you also have. I'm not an ITA specialist, but you also have software integrating companies that also can provide that service, or we can do it ourselves. Usually this is outsourced, but it depends on the negotiations or on the requirements from the client, because also the client sometimes have these software capabilities in the house and they do the integration themselves.
I think, Joao, you can share the screen with your contact details as well, because
Absolutely.
anyhow, while we continue the discussion, we have still 5 minutes left. So
Okay.
another question that comes to my mind, because I think in the audience, some of us are working for owner companies and some of us work for general contractors. What is basically the audience, like your client? The client, is it an owner company or a general contractor that could use the Nexplore Minerva software?
As of today, and we can only as of today talk as of today. Mainly, it's general contractors look on the construction industry, but that's not the only case. As I mentioned, we are talking with logistic operators, hotel chains, airline companies, but so far mainly it's general contractors on the construction industry, because that's probably where we came from, and that they feel the need. And what happens frequently, by the way, an important bracket, when we rolled out Minerva in our projects, the subcontractors got access to the tool, because they also submit the payments through Minerva. They found out the benefits of using the tool. So themselves, as a subcontractor, they also have other clients and other projects. So we are already also selling the tool to subcontractors as well, not just for general contractors.
Abdallah also raised another question. Could it be possible to generate a pay less notice by using Minerva?
What is meant by pay less?
I'm going to allow the mic. So Abdallah, if you can.
Okay.
Yes, with pleasure. Actually, you touch upon a point whereby you cannot, in a position that you will not approve the whole quantity of the subcontractor claim in his invoice. Usually, in some contractual, requirements, the subcontractor is looking for an explanation why he is paid less. So here we are going to send him a notice showing that why we are going to deduct some amount of money from his invoice.
Exactly.
So in that case, we need to, present a letter. We call this payless notice, showing the points why we have deducted.
Okay, understood.
Good question.
This is when we need to backtrack from the original certificate, really. We have issued a certificate, and in the UK, for example, until usually 2 to 5 days before the payment, for any valid reason, you could come back on the certificate you've already issued and say why you are going to pay less what you have already certified. That's called pay less notice.
Okay, thank you. That's a good one. Yeah, basically, Minerva is not doing the payment itself. As we already mentioned, it's integrating with the ERP system, so it's just doing the certification and then sending it over to the ERP system and the accounts payable team as well. So Minerva is just generating these certificates with these reasons. If this is not enough for giving a reason that we are paying less and you need to have a specific letter, Minerva is not generating it at the moment and needs to be generated then at the accounts payable.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. By the way, sorry, just to mention that there is a flow of communication between the subcontractor and the general contractor before, let's say, the approval of the certificate that will be issued. So usually no one is doing it without the agreement of the other, and then the certificate is generated because all the communication is done through the tool.
Okay, yeah, but for example, in the UK, so even if you have issued a certificate, so say I issue a certificate for 100, right? And that's a 30 days payment term, so fine, you send that, you're going to pay it in 30 days. And then 5 days before the actual payment, for some reason, you won't pay that anymore. because maybe the subcontractor has failed other obligations. So you need to backtrack, like cancel the certificate. So that is what it is. That's the payless notice, at least in the UK. So say, right, yeah, I've told you 100, but now maybe the 100 becomes 0 or 5 or whatever, because in the meantime, between the time I've certified you and the time I need to pay you, I need to change. That's the payless. And the contract is you can do it until 2 days after the actual, or 3 days until the actual payment date. You can change it, but you need to tell again payless notice, because you've told once you've issued the first certificate. So now you need to issue a second certificate, if you like, to say different. You with me? That's allowed in the UK.
Okay. Actually, I mean, Fabian, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I don't think so. So this is through Minerva, it's not possible, because as long as the certificate is issued, then it goes to the ERP and is a more financing and accounting topic.
Right.
If there is then a reason for this less payment, you need to probably address this in the typical channels. As of today, again, maybe Minerva can evolve to this situation in the near future, because we are always enhancing tools according also to the client needs. But as of today, that situation cannot basically be reflected on the features we offer of the tool. But yeah, I follow you and I understand the point. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, sorry.
Yes,
thank you.
it's clear. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any more questions for Joao and Fabian? Okay. If not, you have their contact details. Do not hesitate. I mean, the purpose of this series is basically to exchange and bring people in contact, and then exchange like useful information, and also give feedback, for example, of what has happened now. For me, it was a very interesting webinar. It's the first time that I see a demonstration of such a software. I think, as I was saying in the beginning, it's the first time that we have such a webinar in the AACE DACH series. So do not hesitate to contact Joao and Fabian for a further demonstration, and also to follow AACE DACH on LinkedIn and the AACE Region 9, Europe and Africa. There are more webinars to come soon. And thank you so much all for staying with us for this hour.
It was a pleasure from our side as well. Very great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for having us, and thank you for all the interesting questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So have a nice evening. I'm going to end the meeting now, and then wish you a pleasant day. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. You
all
too.
the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.